Thank you. How's it going, guys? Great to see you. I'm Tyler Johnson, the host of Live with Ty, New England's premier talk show that highlights Boston's most interesting locals, celebrities, and rising stars. I'm so glad to be back in the studio because this is my happy place. There's no better place to be than right here, right now. And I cannot wait for y'all to see what we got coming up. He's hilarious, trust me. But you know what's not funny? That Marlboro car parked outside Question every single morning. You get it, you're rich. Seriously though, this guy's relentless. I mean, I get it, you got the cash. Maybe Marlboro even paid you to slap that giant logo on your car and totally ruin your paint job. But come on, have a little self-respect. No one in Question is impressed. No one's thinking, wow, that's the guy I want to network with. Your loud exhaust isn't turning heads, it's turning stomachs. You're definitely drawing attention, all right? Just not the kind you want. And even if you are the unofficial mascot for those cigarette butts outside the building, I promise you, no one cares. That said, in the spirit of shameless promotion, I've decided to slap a giant sticker of Live with Ty on my Kia Soul. Gotta step up the branding game, right? What do you guys think? Good idea? No? Too much? All right, I'll work on it. Speaking of self-branding, what's the deal with LinkedIn? Like, I know what it is. It's a place where dreams go to wear a blazer, but why am I seeing people in class scrolling through it like it's TikTok? Just casually swiping through promotions and job changes like they're memes. Is networking that fun for you? Or you're just addicted to watching that little connection number climb? I don't know, maybe I'm just a little salty. I see my friends post about their thrilling promotion at some company I've never heard of, and boom, hundreds of likes, comments, confetti emojis. Meanwhile, I post about this show, a real creative project we're building, and I get one comment. Nice job, honey. And yeah, you can probably guess who that's from. But honestly, maybe I should lean into it. Next time I'll post, thrilled to announce I've accepted a new role as the unpaid, emotionally unstable intern to my own spiraling ambition. Benefits include chronic imposter syndrome, nightly existential dread, and the vague hope that all of this is character building. Who knows? Maybe that will finally break 10 likes. At this point, I try anything. Wake up earlier, drink some green sludge, start my day at 3 a.m. like one of those motivational robots on TikTok. Speaking of which, have you guys seen the guy who's going viral for his absolutely insane morning routine? If you haven't, he wakes up hours just before the crack of dawn to run for like 15 minutes, dunk his head in cold water and rub banana peels all over his face. Then he sits on his balcony and starts journaling about how much healthier he feels because he's up working while the rest of us are asleep. You might call that enlightenment. I call it fatigue-induced delirium. Now look, I'm a D1 athlete, so I've been up before the sun more times than I can count. Usually I run until I start questioning every life choice that brought me to that point, but even I have limits. At no point have I ever thought, you know what would really center me right now? Spring produce all over my face. And you just know this guy has a rise and grind tattooed on his calf. Probably in a weirdly intense font like papyrus, but hey, good for him. I'll stick to my own morning routine, which is wake up 10 minutes before class, roll out of bed, chug a Celsius, and head out the door in whatever sweats are sitting on top of my laundry pile. And listen, if you ever catch me dunking my head in a bowl of ice water at 3 a.m. and recording it, take my phone and call someone, please. But don't go anywhere because unlike my morning routine, this show is fully planned and actually functional. Coming up, we got one of Boston's top comedians in the building, ready to bring the laughs and share some hot takes with you that you won't want to miss. Stick around for this week's interview and we'll be right back with Jason Cordova before you know it. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Live with Ty. Better please.
We all know him.
And you guys are so much fun. I was thinking of... Yeah.
Live with Ty starts now.
Making his first appearance on the Live with Ty stage, you know him from HBO's Pause with Sam J and a segment on Don't Tell Comedy. Jason Cordova, everybody. So in your comedy journey, it's taken you kind of all over the place. Some of the places you performed is like Gotham, The Stand, Comedy Connection. Do you like being on the road?
Yeah, I do like being on the road.
What do you like about it?
I like, because I'm from Boston, so like, Boston's kind of easy to me.
Really?
I'm from Boston.
I'm not from here. I feel like this place is hard as hell.
I know how to make people from Boston laugh,
okay.
But I like to be on the road because I like to see if my stuff really translates to other people.
Yeah, would you say New York is like, because a lot of the places I just mentioned, New York is where they're from, right?
Yeah.
Is that the hardest crowd to make laugh? Because, you know, people like New York kind of I don't know. They have something about them a little
Yeah,
bit.
New York a little tough, but I wouldn't say they're the hard. I think Boston people are the hardest people to make.
You just said the easiest though.
Because I'm from here.
Oh, 'cause you're from
feel,
here.
It's like being Superman. Like Krypton, you just a
Okay.
regular dude, but everywhere else you
Okay,
Superman.
got you.
'Cause Boston people, this like, Boston people are already like they're not happy.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes, man.
So they're like comedy shows. They're like this.
They're like that.
They
Okay.
do your job. What I realized about Boston people, they don't care like if you're famous. They don't get you get 2-3 minutes. You better get on with it, or it's gonna be hell for you.
It's gonna be
I
rough.
done seen the best comics who quote unquote the best,
Yeah.
and they struggle out here, bro.
In
You feel what I'm saying?
Boston.
Boston is we just mean. Bro.
Where does that come from though?
It's the-
I'm not from here, and like it's piqued my interest for the longest time.
Why
like,
we just like that?
Yeah, I'm just like,
It's-
dude, just
we
like
got-
hold the door open for me.
got-
I got 5 bags in my
We
hands.
just
Like,
got bad weather. We got bad drivers. We got like our food's not that good. You know what I mean? It's just like we got a lot of things going on out here, bro.
so you're saying there's not many things out here to make people happy, probably besides seeing you perform. No?
Yeah, exactly.
When you're performing at some of the venues, probably specifically here in Boston, given that you just said it's like kind of a harder crowd, was there ever a time or ever a joke specifically you're like, man, I'm scared to say it? You know,
I
like
mean,
cancel culture is a big thing. You're like, man, if I say it's funny, but you know.
When I was like a younger comic, yeah, like cause you don't got your sauce yet. You know what I mean? Like, but once they call it finding your voice. Once
Okay.
you learn what your voice is, it's like you know how to pull stuff off, and it's like at this point, it's like, bro, I'm gonna try anything. As a comic, I'm really into like the actual structure and joke writing and
Okay.
being a craftsman.
So you're a professional.
Yeah, like
professional.
so,
I
like
that.
it didn't
That's
really
good.
hurt me too much, but
Yeah.
it did make me dig a little bit deeper. But it's just like my jokes are real long and like you know what I mean. I try to structure them in like a cool way,
Like
so.
weave it like a story.
Yeah, because I don't
Storyteller.
want to sound like anybody else either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what my thing is.
I can respect
and a lot
that.
of a lot of audience members when I leave, they're like, "Yo, you got a different style, bro." Even if, like I like your cadence and stuff. It's just like because I literally just didn't want to sound like nobody. You know,
Yeah.
like when I first got in the game, like anybody, you're inspired by people and you semi-mimic people a little bit. But once you like get into your own sauce, bro, you're like, I don't want to be like nobody, bro. You feel what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying?
One of
You wanna
one.
Yeah, you want to be like yourself, and
One
that's
of
it.
one.
Yeah, you know what
I
I'm
like
saying?
that. When it comes to comedy, are there any, let's say, topics that you won't ever joke about?
If I can make it funny, I'll talk about it.
You'll talk about it?
Yeah, I don't think anything's off limits because like, and it's like, I know my range too. So like, there's things that, not that I don't want to talk about it, I just know I can't pull it off, but I know a comic who can pull it off. You feel what I'm saying? And that goes vice versa for me and somebody else. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
we were saying earlier, we're going to play a quick game here. It is called Game Speed Roast, where we're going to see an image and then you're going to have to roast it.
All right, let's see what you
Don't
got.
pull your punches.
I got you.
Anything that comes to mind.
I got you.
You got me?
Let's see what you got.
All right, let's do it, man.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Let's do it. Cheetos.
Yo,
Hot Cheetos.
why is everything hot now?
I don't know.
Why is everything hot now?
I don't
dog? Like
know.
I don't understand
tell me,
this
dude.
fascination with flaming hot stuff. Like everything's hot. All chips are hot. Like they make hot cookies now. Like why does everything need to be hot right now?
I don't know. Wait, are you not a fan of spicy food?
No,
Not
like
at all.
oh, like
Dude,
not
same.
like especially chips. Like food, I can if it's really good, I can get away with a little bit of spice. Like I used to live in Louisiana,
Yeah.
so like I get like.
Oh,
the
and you're not
food-
into spicy
Yeah,
food?
I don't. But I don't like spicy.
What did you live there
food.
like for like 2 weeks?
I lived there for like 3 months.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't
You
that
dodged
long.
that heat.
But I don't like things that are too spicy. You can't enjoy something that hot.
Okay. What about the people that eat this like religiously? What's your opinion on them?
They're just weirdos, bro.
Weirdos?
Like why you want your mouth to be on fire?
I don't know.
What are you doing for that?
Clearly somebody's at the Lay's. I don't know if it's Cheetos or it's part of the Lay's.
Like
brand.
why is my food challenging? Like why does my food have to be a test? Like that's stupid to me. Like why did that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Next one. Friends.
This is the most unfunny show to ever come out in history. Yo, I had an ex.
I agree
I
with
had
you.
an ex who was like obsessed with this show, and that's probably why we didn't work out. Because this is the most unfunny show I've ever seen in my life.
So given that you dated a girl who's obsessed with that, you
Yeah.
probably had to watch a fair amount of episodes.
I watched a couple, and I was like, this is terrible.
How'd you get through it? If it's so
I
bad, like
didn't. I
you're
would
a
fall
comic.
asleep. I would leave. Even this picture isn't funny, and they're trying to be funny. This isn't funny, dog. Like it is the worst show to ever come out. I'm sorry.
Wait.
I know everybody loves Friends. This show, and honestly, I think they overstated how good looking Jennifer
Aniston.
She's okay, but
Yeah.
they try to make her like the white Halle Berry.
Yeah.
And she was definitely not.
There's
that.
only one Halle Berry,
Yeah, there's
though.
only one.
There's only
dog.
one.
Yeah. This is a no. This is an absolute no, dog. I'd rather look at my foot for 30 minutes than to watch this show, dog. Any day.
Next one. That is who do you think that is?
I seen that face. I feel like I should know.
Yeah, you went to school here. You should know.
Who is that? Which one is it?
Okay, wait. Which one in your mind are you in between right now?
Is that? Damn, I know I've seen this picture.
Okay, I'll give you two. It's either George or Jefferson. Which one?
That's Jefferson.
That is Jefferson.
Yes, Jefferson.
All right, now roast him.
Yeah, he was a slave owner. We all know that.
Yeah,
dog.
we know that.
He hid that very well, dog.
He
Like,
did.
you know what I always be thinking when I be seeing like these type of pictures? Like,
Tell me.
What was like? I didn't understand fashion back then. Like
Mm-hmm.
how they thought this whole look they have. Like, it don't make no sense to me. Like it looks stupid. Like the hair, the little get-ups they used to wear. Like, cause like every era has fashion, low class, high class. So, like that's like essentially Gucci. Like he's wearing right now. It's Thomas Jefferson. Like that's like the best clothes you can buy, dog.
You can put on.
And it's garbage, dog. You feel what I'm saying? Like I never understood the fashion, like with the high socks, and they would wear like the frillies, or sometimes they would have like the little wigs. Like
and you know the crazy. Now that you mentioned the crazy part is that people are looking at him and like, man, that's iconic.
That's crazy, bro.
That's
dog.
like when I grow up, like I want to.
Yeah,
step out
like
that.
people outside, like one day I will hope I can get a frilly fucking shirt. Dog. Like there's people like who was like I would do anything. That's what a Gucci belt was back in the day. That shirt right there, bro.
Next one. Taylor Swift.
Bro.
You have something cooking for this
Come
one.
on, bro.
Let me know.
She is the absolute most average singer. So I was like, let me just listen to this lady's music. Like I was like, before I go crazy, I like went on YouTube, I wrote Taylor Swift. You know, it's gonna pop up the top 10 things. And it's just like, I'm listening to this music. I was like, this song sucks.
There are some like of her more iconic songs, like
Anything's iconic though.
Okay,
Anything that they put on the radio constantly.
Okay, what about
iconic.
There's one song, and probably the one Taylor song I advocate for is like the song called "You Belong with Me." Have you heard that one? Or
I
no?
probably did. How's it go?
It's if you can see that I'm the one who's understanding, been here.
Oh yeah, that
all
song. I heard that
up to
song.
now. Okay, that song I like. I think it's a banger. I hate the music video though.
It got a little something to it, but
That's the one song I like.
It's because they played it so much, bro.
Okay. So you're saying like people didn't really have a choice but to fall in love with Taylor.
They have no choice, bro. What are you gonna do?
So how does that come to be then? How does she get to the level being so average as you put it?
Because most people are average. She speaks to the average white woman, dog. And it's like I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think like I don't want you to think I'm like on them, but like everybody has their person, dog.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like certain artists speak to certain demographics of people.
True.
Like Beyonce, she speaks to black women. You feel what I'm saying? Like Kendrick, he speaks to the artsy dudes now, dog. You know what I'm saying? Drake spoke before he got crushed. He spoke to the soft dudes that are like lover boys, dog. Like everybody has their artists. I'm not saying Taylor should not be doing what she's doing. I don't want you to think that. She's just not for me.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yo, Philly, dog. The ones in actual Philadelphia, Boston, we got them beat, bro. Boston cheesesteaks.
That's crazy.
Boston cheesesteaks is mad underrated. Philly is overrated. We're better.
How? Since when?
Ours is better.
You're very confident
Number one,
in this.
I've been to Philly, bro.
Yeah, I know. I believe
And they
you.
like use cheese sauce, bro.
And then how does Boston make it
So
different?
like you mean to tell me you're gonna squirt cheese out of a bottle and give it to me and tell me that this is gourmet food? Like you ain't even gonna go get some provolone or one of them fancy. You know everybody's into charcuterie now.
Yeah,
and we know
everybody
cheese
is.
now. Cheese is coming up in the last couple years.
It has.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you gotta have to put some quality cheese up there, dog. Like you can't cheese can't be the main thing and you don't have good cheese.
But
Philly's just popular.
just popular.
It's like Philly's like Dr. J, dog. Like you gotta, he was the original, dog. Like Converse is always gonna be Converse, dog.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people done came up on they took what they did and people done did it better, bro.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
So-
Boston, we got some good cheesesteaks.
you could say maybe New York as well.
I've had them in New York. I've had them in other places like Philly, and maybe I'll say a disclaimer like maybe I didn't go to the right place because you
maybe
you
you
gotta
didn't.
know. But one I had, it was nothing to be basing the whole city on. Put it that way.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. So another question I've been wanting to ask you is like when it comes to comedy, I feel like that's a space that's always changing. I feel like that's a good thing. How do you, I guess, stay up to date? I know that you tried some things in sketch comedy as well.
Yeah.
Like in such an ever-changing landscape,
Yeah.
how would you, stay at the top of your game?
It's just as far as stand-up comedy, like I said, like we talked about earlier, like a lot of writing and cute. But as far as like doing like other things, I think as a comic you should try and do anything.
How do you
Like,
know what works and what doesn't?
You try it.
You try it.
That's it. That's the
Okay.
only way, bro. Like I had
Do you just
I used to
know-
do podcast. Like obviously a lot of it's gonna be based on what you're interested in. Like I write sketches. You know what I mean? I like writing sketches. So I'll write a sketch and sometimes I call my friends. I got this sketch. You want to film it? And
Yeah.
if we can make it work, we make it work. I used to podcast. I did it during the pandemic pretty heavy, and then I just stopped.
I feel like a lot of comics do that.
Well, it's
Why
like,
is that?
It's because comics like to talk.
Yeah.
And that's like the place where we could just talk.
Yeah, chatterboxes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we
It's
just
good.
Like, yeah. So and it like when comics are talking, they're like, a lot of comics are inquisitive people, so you want to just hear things. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Before you came onto the show, I felt like I recognized you somewhere, and then when I was doing my research, I figured it out.
Where?
HBO's with Sam J.
Well, I've known Sam since.
Because she's from Boston
She's
as
from
well.
Boston too. Yeah, I've known her since she lived in Atlanta and she came back to Boston, and like our first actually interaction, she didn't like me at first.
Really?
Yeah. She
Wow,
thought
you're like, Boston cheesecake's better.
Nah, she thought she's from Boston, but she thought I was being arrogant and I wasn't. Yeah, with that show in particular, it was like during the pandemic, so it was like it was even hard to put the show together.
How was she able to pull it off, you know? And I guess you guys, you know, still kicking it.
Yeah, we
and
were
getting
just
good
talking.
content.
Yeah, we were just talking, drinking, just doing like what you like at any when you're hanging with your friends. So that it had that same feel of like.
And what about the cameras? And what about like
They were there,
all the
but-
restrictions that come into you even being able to kick with your bro? Like,
Yeah, but the cameras were there, but they didn't really feel like they was there. Not like they said talk about this or like, you know, or can you say that again like that? You know what I mean? Like it was just like we was just all just talking, and whatever they caught. And the things they didn't, you just didn't catch it.
How does it compare to being in it? You know, in the moment, but then kind of watching like the final product. What was that
It's
experience
dope
like?
because like, you know, it was on HBO or whatnot. That's always cool. And it helped me in comedy because it was just a credit I could use. Like, oh, I've been on HBO, bro. And
Yeah,
it just
of course.
skyrocketed. And I had the talent to back it up when people called me. So it was like that. And then I went on a road with her and stuff like that. So it worked out.
So I also watched your set on Don't Tell Comedy. Hilarious stuff, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
My question to you is though, what's the most annoying part when it comes to performing in such an iconic kind of space?
Like at Don't Tell?
Yeah, Don't Tell.
Well, at the
Like
time-
everybody does it, bro.
Well, now, but don't. The one I did was the early one.
The early
We
ones.
didn't even know what it was essentially.
Oh,
Well, we
okay.
didn't know how big it was,
Yeah.
bro. You feel what I'm saying? So like the one I did was, I didn't even know I was gonna be on that till like 3 hours before.
Really?
Yeah. I guess somebody dropped out, bro. I just got lucky, bro. Another lucky
Yeah.
moment. And then I was just like, they was like, you want? I was like, yeah, forget, I'll do it. So I like had left work. I like got me a little haircut because I knew it was gonna be a bunch of cameras and whatnot. And then I just did my set and it just worked out. It was good, you know.
Crazy question. When it comes to, let's say, bigger opportunities, let's say somebody like SNL comes calling to say, yo, we want you to host a show.
Cool.
What are you saying?
I'm saying yeah.
100%?
100%.
Is that like, would that be for a comedian, would that be the crux of it? Would that be, let's say, getting a Netflix special, or would that be appearing on a late night show?
It's SNL is the best way I could put it is like it's comedy college, bro.
How so?
It just teaches you everything about producing comedy, especially like in a TV format. You feel what I'm saying? You learn everything, and there's like a camaraderie with it. You know what I mean? It's a fraternity. You're like part of that thing. So it's like, it's one of them things that like, if you do it, bro, and you stamped after that, bro. You know, it's just, you stamped. You was on
That's
SNL, dog. In stand-up, it's like me, a mic, the audience. I'm just talking. I'm taking them through my journey, highs and lows. And TV production, especially in the realm of comedy, what makes something funny isn't always just the words. It could be a cut of, like just a cut. It could be a pan. It could be where the person's standing at the time. You know what I mean? It could be the pause. You know, it's a lot of different things.
So then, growing up for your journey into comedy, who'd you look up to? Who'd you be like, man, I could probably be funnier than that guy?
I looked up to like Pryor. I looked up to Chappelle. I looked up Patrice O'Neal, Bill Burr. Louis C.K. is one of my favorite comics. Like I liked Mitch Hedberg.
Okay.
I thought Mitch Hedberg was so funny. Like it was like Hannibal Buress. I thought was hilarious. You know what I mean? Just even Seinfeld. Like I thought like even like
We're not friends.
Yeah, nah, definitely not. Like Brian Regan. Like there was a lot of comics. Like George Carlin. I thought they was just all hilarious. You know. So it was just one of those things. Eddie Murphy, of course. You know, people like that.
I got you, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem.
Man.
Thanks for having me, bro. This was fun.
This was funny as hell. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, Given the cold, frigid weather that we suffer from during this time of year here in Boston, I took my talent to South Beach to ask some people some questions. Take a look. What's one thing in Miami you wish people would stop doing?
In Miami?
Yeah, in Miami specifically.
Not being gross and homeless.
What did he say?
This is Live with Ty. Woo! All right, what's the biggest flex you've ever seen in Miami?
Bugatti.
Valet and just like Rolls Royces and Bentleys just pulling up.
Lamborghini Urus, but like 5 in a row.
Have like a super nice car and live in like a hole.
I was going down the street, bike, everything up, like,
Really?
yeah, like in the air.
What's your name?
I think the young boy in this moment, the 20, 21 years old,
Okay.
can't drink too much.
How much of your rent would you give up to be on a yacht right now? We're on a cruise, but a yacht, how much are you giving up?
Like 2 bands.
2 bands? Okay, so all of his rent. All his rent.
Could I say all of my money?
3,200?
3,200.
Okay, that's like all of it. I like that.
All of it.
All of it?
Because for me, the older people have experience.
Would you rather spend a winter in Boston with no heat or a summer in Miami with no AC?
I feel like a summer in Miami without AC for
Why?
sure.
Tell me.
I just don't like the cold, you know.
Winter in Boston.
Winter in Boston? Why?
Cause like I'm a generally like just like an overheated guy.
You get overheated?
Sweaty man.
In Boston.
You spend in Boston?
Yeah.
You're crazy for that. Tell me.
You can layer up, but there's no getting away from the heat.
I drink 6 mojito.
6?
Only
7?
Wow. Only mojito.
That's
And
it.
if you drink the same drink, you don't have a problem.
What do you wish people in Miami would stop doing? What are you getting tired and annoyed of people doing in Miami?
Crackheads.
Being hoes and being crazy.
Assuming that everyone with dark hair and tan skin speaks Spanish.
Stop doing drugs. You see all the homeless people and all that stuff, dude.
Moving to Miami.
Why is that?
We're full here. Please stop coming here.
Not being gross and homeless. That would be nice. So
Yeah?
I don't feel scared for my life.
Okay.
Drugs.
Doing drugs?
Doing hardcore drugs, yeah.
More gratitude.
Yeah, I need to
Okay.
see more gratitude.
We've interviewed some other people that kind of people, but you're not one of them.
Oh, thank you.
Because if you start to drink only whiskey or for example only tequila, if you go up, you can't go down.
That is true.
If you go up and down, not a problem.
What have you enjoyed the most?
The best drink.
Be sure to keep up with Jason Cordova on Instagram and YouTube. By now, you might be tired of hearing my voice, seeing my face, maybe both. So we're gonna cut to Midweek Madness. Take a look.
Welcome to Midweek Madness. I'm Valeria Begard.
I'm Colby Johnston. Last Friday, BU held its annual Match Day, where med students learn where they'll start their careers. Tough break for one guy who got matched with the dental clinic where Kanye gets his nitrous. Now he's going from graduating to graduation on loop in the procedure room while Ye live rants on X.
Boston University students in Warren A Tower returned from winter break to loud banging, blocked windows, and strangers casually peering into their rooms. While it was due to renovations, not a Black Mirror episode, Warren residents were unfazed. Still didn't crack the top 5 weirdest things to happen there this semester. Seriously though, multiple reports say construction workers were looking into dorm windows without warning, that rooms would suddenly be eye level with scaffolding. BU has responded by offering a new course, Curtain Management for Beginners.
McNeese State team manager Amir Khan went viral last week during March Madness. Nicknamed Aura, Khan scored a $100,000 NIL deal and a custom sweatsuit, reminding players they have to worry about the bracket and the fact that someone who's on the bench is already in a whole different tax bracket. Yesterday, Pedro Pascal responded to fans' questions regarding his new role as Mr. Fantastic, about whether all of his body parts stretch, as one infamous Marvel panel suggests. With a perfectly vague reply, he said, "Everything has to stretch." In unrelated news, I've updated my answer to preferred superpower.
Recently, 23andMe filed for bankruptcy, leaving customers worried about what will happen to their genetic data. But don't worry, Elon Musk has already offered to repurpose it to create a squad of gene-edited space interns for the next experimental SpaceX launch.
Yesterday, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr laid out 2 non-negotiables for Jimmy Butler after their recent trade: show up on time and compete to win as part of a group. That's it. Sources say Kerr also added a third off the record. Watch out for Draymond, he bites.
Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro is facing coup charges after leading a capital march to overturn the 2022 election. 3 years later, and America's still setting the gold standard for how not to handle losing.
A number of states, now including Georgia, are moving to ban cell phones in schools, citing concerns about kids' development. I'd say they're overreacting, but recent studies show that screen-induced brain rot shares symptoms with lead poisoning, like memory loss, poor judgment, and a growing inability to tell the difference between a joke and real news.
During Mayor Michelle Wu's State of the City address, mayoral candidate Josh Kraft took to X to challenge her claims on housing, schools, and safety, citing misleading stats. Kraft, son of Patriots owner Robert Kraft, hopes to bring the team's winning spirit to politics, which, based on this season, is a bold choice. According to the Wall Street Journal, more American women are giving up on marriage, thanks to major demographic shifts putting men and women on diverging paths. But I think there's a simpler explanation, and it can be summed up in 2 words: Colby Johnston.
What did I do? Seriously, what did I do? Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is under fire after accidentally adding an Atlantic reporter to a group chat, revealing plans to attack Yemen. He's also facing backlash for accidentally texting his mom shirtless mirror selfies, labeled war ready. This same security breach sparked public outrage over why US officials used a free messaging app to share classified military plans. A former CIA analyst told NPR, "Heads are exploding." Meanwhile, the Pentagon reassured the public they've since upgraded to a far more secure platform. A Snapchat group chat titled, "Top Secret, No Snitches." Fire emoji, 100 emoji.
Tesla's sales have plummeted as Elon Musk's public image continues to tank, fueled by his rise during the Trump era. Across the US, people are vandalizing Cybertrucks with spray paint, blunt objects, even firebombs. Though honestly, a couple days of rain probably would have done the trick. This week, FitRec turns 20 years old, kicking off a week-long celebration of its rich history. Highlights include special events, giveaways, and of course, the annual reminder that the rock wall still exists.
At last week's State of the City address, Mayor Michelle Wu highlighted Boston's resistance to attacks on public servants, the LGBTQ+ community, veterans, and immigrants during the Trump administration. When speaking to Congress, she said it might have been her voice at the mic, but it was 700,000 voices behind her. Though in classic Boston fashion, those voices were mostly yelling over each other and dropping F-bombs.
Once again, this was Midweek Madness. I'm Valeria Bigot.
And I'm Colby Johnston. Don't totally screw up your week. Aim for mildly impressive.
Until next time, I'm your host, Tyler Johnson. Thank you and good night.